Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin with Elliott Wave Theory. If you want to educate yourself and support me, you can take a look at Patreon where you can find Elliott Wave Basics course, access to weekly live streams and extra content overall. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the charts next. Starting here on 1 hour time frame, again this has been the main idea that we've been following for quite some time now. Again, since we basically created a structure that took out these highs. So let's not go that far yet, not there, but here. So this has been the idea overall, where we would have this as an A, B, and then looking for C. I've had some people saying that they have this as the end of wave 2, which would negate basically one of these degrees here, where we would have this as a 1, 2 instead, 3, 4, and 5. That is possible. We have the 1.618 extension pretty similar here, but I just like this being a 5-way structure in here instead, so that's why I have it labeled like this. So overall, ABC would be ending at these tops after we would be creating this 5-way move here, and the other scenario is that this is indeed a wave 1 and this is a third wave. I prefer that being a third wave, since we are right almost at the 2.618 extension. That is not that common to see the C wave extend that far, so that's why I do prefer this still. Then we would be looking for wave 4 and 5th wave. This would most likely take a bit more time. Wave 4 would most likely take quite some time. Wave 2 here was quite shallow, fast, so wave 4 is most likely, due to alteration, more of a sideways correction. If we take and go below the previous wave 4s here, then that is no longer very common thing to see, and that is most likely that this indeed is complete somehow. Overall, if we were to look at this as an 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we would be challenging most likely these highs, and if we are getting an extension here on 5th, we would be looking to create an extension all the way up to the 27k to 30k areas here. But again, I don't really see that as a very likely scenario at this point. I do see that we would have this as more likely something like this, as it is more common extension wise. But let's get more into the smaller time frames here that we've been looking at. So we had a diagonal here where we had this as a potential wave 1. The issue with this one is that this potential wave 4 here would be so small, and it does not really fit too well into this idea at the moment anymore. This is still potential, or this still has potential and is still viable. Nothing has broken in the films of structure otherwise than the RSI, which is why I don't really prefer this as the start of something rather than an end of something. However, this being so drastic structure down here, that I think it was a 5-way structure, it has to be an end of something, as we have taken out now the highs here with this more recent price action on Friday. So what is my main? It is this one, where we have a 5-way structure of it, where we have this as a 1, 2, another 1, 2, another 1, 2, 1, 2. Then here is a couple of different alterations overall. I've labeled this previously as a 1, 2, this would be the third, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now I think, and looking at the structures that I currently have, I think it is still fair to say that this structure here could be a wave 4 of submicro, comparing it to this one. Otherwise, we would have to shift everything one high to the next. So this third would be up in here, and this would be the start of that wave 4 of this sub-minuet count. That would be, sub-micro count that started from here. So then we would be comparing this wave 2 to this wave 4. And you can see how they are very different sizes overall. And that's the reason why I'm shifting more towards the idea that this indeed was already the top of this sub-micro count here. And this would again bring us to already closing on into the price of, let's see, well, I think the 23.8 is very relative here. The idea is that we would be creating this as a 1, 2. This would be 3, 4. The extension here for the third wave is already very, very extended. I think it was close to 3.618. Yeah, well, pretty much to the dot here. And then we would be creating a three-way structure here, which in turn was a expanded flat. I was originally thinking that this was a five-way structure, but if we are closing on and actually zooming in on very small time frames, I did not see this at the time, but only later when we were starting to climb up. I think here I mentioned on the Patreon Discord that it could be a three-way move instead. Why? Because of this here. We see that we go to the 0.618. So that is again the minimum extension we want to see for any ABC. And in this time, we could have this as a three-way structure for that sub-micro wave A. And that again gives us a three-way structure into here. Then three-way structure up in here, and again here we confirm that this indeed was not a start of something, as in a five-wave structure. If it was a five-way structure, it would be an end of something. However, there's nothing I can pair it up with, so this is a three-way structure. Three-way structure up in here, three wave here for that W, three waves into X, and three waves into a Y. Whether this is WXY, I don't really care too much. Then we would have a five-way structure in here. We would have lowest low here on RSI. Then we would be creating divergence here against the last bits here. I think I've labeled this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, and 5. So that would be creating a nested pattern in here, and then downwards for that C wave, completing the wave 4 here as a running flat here, which is again very, very bullish structure. Exact same thing that we had here. Again, this C wave did not take out the lows of this previous microwave A. And now we would be seeking that fifth wave. That is where I'm going to be closing like 70% of my position that I have lost. And yeah, we'll see how this structure here forms. At the moment, I do see that this is a potential five-way move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inside that third wave, we would have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower degrees, we did have divergences here, divergences here. That definitely gives us the sentiment that this is indeed a potential five-way move. And then we could be looking for pullback. We have only hit the 382, so there is definitely a chance that we are going to be getting a bit lower. This definitely feels like three waves coming down, and we have overlap from the structures that are engulfing previous consolidation areas. So there is definitely a chance that this is more of a corrective structure that is actually some kind of correction for this instead of any kind of impulse move that would continue the previous trend. So we would be creating something like that instead. Time wise, we would be looking at 1 to 1 is already taken, so there is of course a possibility that this is some kind of diagonal here. I don't really see that possible because again this high did not overtake these, but again we are in so small time frames that it might have some kind of skewed view on that. But yeah, I'm still holding my ETH and Bitcoin positions. I opened another altcoin position here on one of them that had a bit more pullback already, and again I'm playing against these lows. As mentioned, this can be also just the third wave of this sub-micro over here, and at that point we would be creating a five-way structure, pullback, and another five-way structure here. But again, this is my primary that I'm going to be going with. Of course, I'm going to be leaving some amount of money here to be run. So again, I could be looking into some kind of extension on fifth. However, again, we had already an extension on third, so we don't need to be expecting an extension here on fifth. Let's see if we have some confluence here. Not really anything at the 1.618. We had quite a lot of structures here that are very more recent, but I don't see anything at the 1.618 at the moment. There's some weekly naked point of controls right below, well beyond that weekly level, tap dailies and 2.618 extension, but nothing really lines up too well. So what I would be doing more likely is to look for this structure to be forming, and then looking for some kind of short setups later on. But I think that is going to bring us to the end of this video. Again, if you enjoyed and got something out of it, let me know in the comments and leave me a like. Check out the free Discord server as well. And if you want to be educating yourself and learning more about Elliott Wave, there is a link for the Patreon as well, where I release more content there and over on Discord as well. For now, thank you for your watch time and see you on the next video. Bye bye.